I leave for literally 2 hours, walk away from my house, walk away from the studio, and this news breaks. I'm sorry I'm almost 2 hours late on this going live. Usually I go live literally 2 or 3 minutes after breaking news breaks. Tyreek Hill traded to the Miami Dolphins. I raced back to the studio as fast as I could. I was out and about doing family things, but I had to come back. Once I'm out, the news pulls me back in. Tyreek Hill traded to the Miami Dolphins. What does this even mean? How do we even break this down from a fantasy football perspective? Because this is absolutely crazy. And the ramifications on this one are massive. Just when we thought there would be no bigger moves, like, okay. You know, we saw some of the quarterback, the Russell Wilson trade was absolutely insane. We thought that was going to be the biggest thing. The Tom Brady news, the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams trade. This has been the craziest offseason we've ever seen in the history of fantasy football and the NFL. So the entire deal, reportedly, there may be an update on this one, but Tyreek Hill traded to the Miami Dolphins for looks like the number 29 overall pick, a second, which is number 50, and a 4th round pick in 2022, as well as a 4th and 6th round pick in 2023. In addition to the trade compensation, the Dolphins are giving Tyreek Hill a 4-year, $120 million extension that includes $72 million guaranteed, and he goes to play with Tua, who has a lot of weapons right now. As much as we want to say Tua may or may not be that guy, he might by default have pretty amazing numbers. The Jets reportedly offered a higher draft pick. This may have been a better trade on paper, but reports are that this came down to the fact that Tyreek Hill wanted to go play for the Miami Dolphins over the Jets, and there's a little bit more involved in the other trade. There's some future picks, a few more picks, but this would have been the 35, the 38, the 69, the 35, 38, 69. Jets would have gotten Hill and the 103. I mean, you could argue either trade is a little bit different than the other trade, but that is absolute madness. Tyreek Hill going to the Miami Dolphins. Unbelievable. This guy McDaniel, you know, the Niners should have never let this guy walk. They should have treated this guy like a king, because he's already making massive moves. He's bringing in an unbelievable rushing attack, this arsenal of running backs that he's got at his disposal. And then you go ahead and you make a move like this. Now, this is a sad day because a lot of negatives happen from this trade. Okay, this is not a good trade from a fantasy perspective. It helps Tua out a little bit, but who cares about Tua? There are so many better quarterbacks in fantasy football than Tua. So while Tua gets extremely better and Tua gets put on the map as a crafty quarterback that you could draft if you wanted to completely ignore quarterback, as if you forgot to draft one. You're like, oh my God, there's Tua. Like you could technically start Tua as a 12th or a 10th or who knows how good he'll be. He's definitely upgraded. He definitely has the arsenal. But boy, does this hit badly. This hits different than these other trades. Russell Wilson, amazing trade. Adams, takes a little bit of a hit for sure. So does Rodgers from the trade of sending Adams to the Raiders from the Packers. That was a little bit of I thought that was going to be the biggest, nut kick we'd see out of all these trades. Down tick for Adams a little bit. Some will argue no. I say yes. And then down tick for Aaron Rodgers. But this trade, not only does it send Mahomes down, it sends Tyreek down. It increases the value of Juju, but by how much, we don't know yet. I mean, definitely going to increase the value of Juju. Maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire finally gets used. Maybe they go back to a run pass balance. I don't know. This could be what Andy Reid's thinking. We don't know. but this is crazy. Kelsey's value goes up. However, he's getting older. So there's a real good chance he starts missing games starting this year, and he plays really well, but he misses 4, 5, and 6 games this season. He's getting older. So Mahomes' value takes a big hit. We've got a voicemail here from Fairfan.
Hey, Smitty. Juju and Kelsey on the rise. Hey, Smitty. Juju and Kelsey on the rise now? Also, how do we feel about Waddle now?
Waddle's the real disappointing one, bro. The real disappointing one, Fairfan. And I'm going to get to the other voicemails on the show later today. If you've got any from my voicemail crew that you want answered right now regarding this situation, drop a fresh one right now in the voicemail group and I'll throw it up. But Waddle, this one's very, very upsetting because I think Jalen Waddle could still have a breakout year or a good year, but there's no way he can be as good given Tua's not a Mahomes. You know, Tua's going to be a lot better. The Dolphins are going to be ballers. The Chiefs took themselves out of being almost a lock to be a top 2 team in the AFC West and the AFC, like top 3 AFC team lock. Now you don't know where that stands. So this is great news for the Raiders. This is great news for the Chargers. It's great news for the Broncos. But this is a bad trade. This is not the kind of trade fantasy football world's wanted today. We're excited by the big splashy news, but when all is said and done, watching this train wreck isn't so fun at the end. Like, this is one of those things where you want to see craziness, but then after it happens, you're like, wait a minute, I got to clean this up? Like, I got to clean this mess up? This is like having a food fight on Thanksgiving. You're excited because there's madness going on. When the food fight's over, you got to clean it up. This is like going on a 4-mile hike, enjoying it, and then realizing you got to hike 4 miles back. This is not what we wanted. This is not what we wanted. If we go to the board, we'll try and break this one down. Values post-trade. I mean, let's use this on a scale, or let's use this on a down arrow. You know, we'll say this is a slight down tick. This is a big down tick, and this is like, what in the hell, man? Okay, so this is like semi-bad. Where's my music? Semi-bad. Bad. Okay, that's going to be our scale. Tyreek Hill. This is borderline double. This is borderline bad. Like, this is borderline bad. I'm going to go ahead and put it like, I don't know how to write this. Almost times 2. That's almost double bad. Like, look, Tyreek Hill is a beast, okay? But we've seen before in cases like Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh, guys. He was treated like a god there. Overfed. Just targeted like a madman. Laser lock. Big Ben would just throw the man the ball every single play. You couldn't contain it. You couldn't stop it. You knew it was coming. But he was the best player on the field every time Big Ben was on the field. Big Ben would get hurt, and literally Antonio Brown would vanish from the game. He would vanish from the top 10 wide receivers. It was absolutely crazy, the difference that took place in terms of AB's value when Big Ben was on the field. We've only known Tyreek Hill at this level that we see him, you know, with Mahomes. The place he goes now, this Tyreek Hill that we don't know what he's going to be now. Tua has Waddle. Waddle may take a hit. We'll get there in a second. Waddle may take a hit, but he's still very good. Waddle is still very good. It's not crazy to think that Tyreek Hill's going to struggle to be his old self. Not just like he's going to have a few less touchdowns, and where he could struggle to be a top 5 wide receiver. Him and Adams, this is a weird situation where we have arguably, we love, like, look, your boy Smitty's been on this for a long time. My top 3 are not like everyone's top 3. Adams has been pretty much everyone's one as soon as Aaron Rodgers returned. Then Adams got traded to the Raiders. I bumped Adams out of my top 5. He's like number 6. But he was never 1, 2, or 3. Like, I've got Jamar, Cooper Kupp. These are my top 2 wide receivers. Cooper Kupp, Jamar, Cooper Kupp, Jefferson. In any order, throw them in a blender, turn it on. This is my top tier wide receiver group. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp. It wasn't Adams. I know everybody wanted it to be Adams, but it wasn't Adams, and he gets traded to the Raiders, and now it's definitely not Adams. Hill wasn't in there, but Hill was 4 or 5. Now you have Adams and Hill potentially outside the top 5. Like, it's hard to move Hill further than 5 or 6, just like it's hard to move Adams further to 5 or 6. This actually helps Waddle. I'm sorry, HD2, but there's no way this helps Waddle. There's no way. Like, this comes down to a pie chart, bro. Okay? There's only so many targets to go around. Okay? Tua doesn't throw the football like Mahomes does. This offense won't be a pass, like first pass heavy to the degree the Chiefs will be. Will they throw more now? Absolutely. But this is going to be about the run. This is going to be about balance. McDaniel brought in, he has 3 running backs to rotate because the dude is a scheme genius and running and rotations and pulling and all kinds of things with this offensive line. Like, this is not what you're thinking, HD Tube. This does not actually help Waddle. It doesn't. I appreciate you too, but I'm going to disapprove that comment.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Not that I hate the comment, I'm just disapproving the comment. That's all, okay? No big deal. No big deal. But this doesn't help. This doesn't help anybody. The only one this helps is Tua. And the only one this helps is maybe Juju becomes a high-end wide receiver 2. Maybe a wide receiver 1. Maybe a wide receiver 1. Maybe. I'm not drafting Juju as a wide receiver 1. I'm just saying maybe he turns into one. You could draft him as a wide receiver 2 now, but this does not help. This does not help Tyreek Hill. This does not help Jalen Waddle. Anybody saying that owns them. Like, Tube, I know you literally just wore. Where's Tube? I think Kenny's point is a good one. Let's see what Kenny's point is, and let's see who owns Tyreek Hill by looking at the chat. And don't take that the wrong way. We naturally have an inclination to defend what is ours. If you own Tyreek Hill, or if you own Tua, if you own Tyreek Hill, or if you own Jalen Waddle, you're looking for the best in this. You're looking for the best. Kenny, repost your thing. I can't even find it. This is horrible news. This isn't good. This can't help. This can't help anybody. This can't help. Let's go back to the board. This can't help anybody but Tua. It helps Tua tremendously, although that's Tua's value that it helps. That's Tua's value. This is not. Why is my music not repeating? You step away for 1 minute, your system just completely stops working. Tua, this is not to say Tua becomes an elite quarterback. This means that Tua's value before the trade, it increases by an extreme amount in a positive direction. Tyreek Hill, this is almost 2 down arrows, but we'll call it like down arrow 0.5. Mahomes, down arrow 0.5. Can't be good. Kelsey, he's getting older, so on its face, it's good. It's good, but will he be overworked? I don't know. Will he start missing games? Yeah. Juju, this almost helps Juju double arrows, but that doesn't make him an elite wide receiver 1. It just means he went from wide receiver 3, later wide receiver 3 to like freaking, a strong wide receiver 2. Let's see here. And then, let's see here. Let's hold on one second. Let me just make sure there's not new breaking news. Let me see. There's not new breaking news. This breaking news is just absolutely insane. This is the craziest offseason we have ever seen in our entire lives. This is absolute madness. Whale. Oh, poor Whale. So wait, Waddle is not going to the Chiefs? No, Whale. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like, no, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is why we're upset, Whale. Because now Waddle at least gets 1, maybe 1.5 arrows down. Tua got 2 arrows up. Why is my song not repeating? This is getting annoying. This is bad, guys. This is not good. This is not a good trade. Tua stock explodes. Yes, to a degree, bro, but he can only explode so much. We have so many good quarterbacks in fantasy football. He can only be so good. Like he could be 12 or 10 or something like that, sure. But he's not breaching the top 8 quarterbacks. He's not breaching the top 7. This is an elite quarterback crew. He's not passing Mahomes. Mahomes falls, but how far? To 3 or 2 or 3 or 4. Like, look, I had Herbert number 1. Everyone's gonna jump on the Justin Herbert as the number 1 quarterback now. You watch. Your boy Smitty was ahead of that curve. Herbert, the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. Josh Allen and him together are fighting for that top spot. I could go either way. If you say Josh Allen, I'm fine with that. No one's taking laps over Josh Allen over Herbert. But Herbert's going to be a quick, I like him as the number 1 turn of events for everybody. So no, Waddle's not going there. Unfortunately, pal. Unfortunately. It's not happening. Waddle is a Miami Dolphin. Waddle is now the number 2 wide receiver on this team. Waddle takes a huge hit. This is horrible. This is why you don't draft early. Yes and no, Aaron. I totally disagree with that statement. I mean, you don't have to draft right now in the middle of free agency. I draft right after free agency, so in a sense, it's not bad to draft early. Maybe wait till free agency happens, but the same thing could be said for a guy you own. You could literally own Tua, and these trades help you. So it's not like you just got to know what's going on, who's disgruntled. And in this situation, we couldn't really see this one coming. So in a sense, yeah, this would have burned you if you owned Tyreek. This would have burned you if you owned Mahomes. This would have burned you if you owned Waddle. But it would have helped you if you owned Kelsey. So like you could say that all day, but the odds of something happening like this where you can't predict it are it's the same thing. It could happen on one side of it for you, or it could happen on the other. It's those things where someone's disgruntled, like Kyler or Adams or the Aaron Rodgers situation, where you could avoid that situation or take a gamble by drafting early. But I totally disagree with the drafting early thing. I think if you are smart about it, more times than not, you can take advantage of it. Like Herbert. What did I say weeks ago? Not to go get Mahomes, to go get Herbert. Now Herbert's going to be jumping up ADP boards by 5, 6, 7, 8 picks overall on a ADP draft board. So it can be advantageous to draft early. Javonte Williams. What did I tell you all offseason? Aaron, tell me how it was bad to draft early when you could get Javonte Williams at 11 and 12. And in early January mock drafts and February mock drafts, Aaron, Javonte was going at 15 and 16 and 14 and 13 overall, Aaron. Now he's number 2. So tell me how, if you're smart about it, it can't be advantageous as well, Aaron. You know what I'm saying, broski? You take Javonte over and over and over in early January and February mock drafts while everyone's talking about how they're scared of this, scared of that. They've got no quarterback. Your boy Smitty said keep the faith in Javonte, and now Javonte Williams is the number 2 or number 3 overall pick. You know what I'm saying, bro? It goes both ways. You can't just say when a bad thing happens, lightning strikes, you say, this is why you can't do this. This is why we can't have nice things, Aaron. So I hear what you're saying, but it can go both ways. It can go both ways. If you picked Waddle, yes, it could have screwed you. Big time. But if you picked Javonte, you would have cleaned up. So it could go both ways. But my advice is to wait until after free agency. But don't wait until August. I like going early and attacking these values before they go up and down on more controllable things. Free agency can get a little uncontrollable, but this is absolutely crazy. This is not a good trade, people. This is not a good trade. What did the Chiefs get? The compensation is right here. The full haul is pick 29, pick 50, and a 4th round pick. So while the deal that the Chiefs were offering, or the Jets were offering, was a little bit better than what the Dolphins were offering, in a sense, the pick is higher for this deal that actually went down. So, and I might have worded that wrong last time. On paper, this second deal that the Jets were offering was technically maybe better because it was 35, 38, 69 versus 29, 50, and then some other stuff down the way. But I'd rather have the higher pick potentially, maybe. Depends on who's on the board. But 29 to 35, and then to get the extra 38 in a sense, or to however you want to look at it. So the Jets trade was turned down because ultimately the word is that Tyreek wanted to play for the Dolphins. So they went with this move. But it's the 29, the 50, and as well as a 4th and a 6th round pick in 2023. In addition, trade compensation, the Dolphins are giving Hill a 4-year deal, $120 million extension, $72 million guaranteed. Absolute craziness, people. Not good. This is bad from a fantasy perspective. No matter what way you look at it, you could say it till you're blue in the face that, oh, this could be good for Waddle. It's not good for Waddle. It's not good for Waddle. It can't be good for Waddle. Tua doesn't throw enough for it to be good for Waddle. Now, he'll be used. Let's think of it this way. Think of it this way. Not only is, yeah, it should have been the Jets. I agree, Cheryl. It should have been the Jets. Not only is this bad because Waddle gets less receptions, but Waddle was on his way to being Debo 2.0. This guy McDaniel helped architect Debo Samuel and Debo Samuel's usage in San Francisco, and he's bringing all that knowledge and game planning and blueprints and architecture style to the Miami Dolphins offense. So you're thinking Waddle, who did run quite a bit last year and looked elusive as a running wide receiver. Not up the gut like Debo. He's not built for that. He would get hurt if he was running up the gut like Debo. But on jet sweeps and little dump offs in behind the line of scrimmage, 1 or 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, minus 3 yard catch, like these kinds of runs that turn into receptions. Like he would have on sweeps and reverses and all kinds of plays that would get him in a position where as soon as he got the rush, as soon as he was handed the football, he would get in a place where he wasn't getting hit by linemen or necessarily linebackers all the time. He would still be getting hit by cornerbacks running out of bounds. There are ways to make Waddle Debo 2.0 without having him take hits up the gut and keeping him healthy. This guy would have been Debo Samuel 2.0. The problem isn't just that now he's got less targets, now he's got less receptions, now he's got less touchdowns, now he's got less yardage, now he's got less looks. Not only does Waddle take a big hit in all those categories, Tyreek Hill does the same kind of running and effectiveness in that Debo Samuel-esque role, not up the gut, but on the peripheral, in the flat. 3 yards, step back, catch a negative 3 yard pass, take it 87 yards. That's what Hill does. Not only is he stepping on all of Waddle's, and when I say he, I mean Tyreek Hill, stepping on all of Waddle's targets and upside and ability to be the Debo 2.0, he's going to take all those runs, or a lot of them, they're going to share it, It's going to be crazy what McDaniel's going to do with this team. I'm really impressed at what he's doing. He's not helping fantasy owners, I'll tell you that. He's got 3 running backs now. This guy's brought in a crew. He's got Mostert with the speed. He's got Chase Edmonds, utility guy, receptions, runs, does kind of everything. Not the best running back of the group, although he might be the starter in the pecking order and based on the contract he got. Myles Gaskin, who's very much like a Tyreek Hill, but at the running back position, but never fully utilized. I thought when McDaniel landed in Miami, before they signed Chase Edmonds, before they signed Mostert, that Gaskin might be headed to the moon. But now it's like there's this trio of amazing running back potential that he's going to utilize in a running back by committee. So it's like, do you stay away from it? Do you hope that one catches fire and it's the guy you own? I don't know, but McDaniel's going to run an amazing offense. Like, this is a good team. This is a really good team. The Miami Dolphins may not have the best quarterback in the league, but he's surrounded, blanketed by talent at the running back position, now at the wide receivers with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It may frustrate us from a fantasy perspective, but goodness gracious, is this a good situation for McDaniel and Tua and the offense. It just sucks for a lot of the pieces that are being impacted here. There's a lot of degrees of upset feelings I have resulting from this trade, and you should feel the same way. Tyreek Hill, downgrade. Mahomes, downgrade. Waddle, downgrade. Kelsey, upgrade, but will he even stay healthy this year? Juju, upgrade. Tua, upgrade. Maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire upgraded, but can he stay healthy? This is absolutely crazy. Madness. Let's see if my voicemail group wants to leave anything. Here we go. We got one from Kenny.
Hey, Smitty. For Waddle, I'm kind of thinking this could be like when Juju had AB taking all the smoke away from him.
No, I understand where you're coming from, Kenny, but that's I understand you're trying to bring some good into the situation, but Tua's not throwing like Big Ben did, the way Big Ben did. Tua's not that kind of quarterback. I think this is going to be a very ball control, creative things going all over the place. A lot of pulling on the offensive line, misdirection. What you saw in San Francisco, you're going to see in a sense here in Miami, because this is one of the architects involved. So it's not going to be good. It can't be good. Could it be less damaging than we think? Maybe. But will Waddle lead the league in receptions like he was capable of doing in 2022 without Tyreek Hill on the roster? I don't think so, bro. Is Waddle top 5 for wide receivers? No, he can't be. If Tyreek Hill's on roster, there's no way Tua's producing 2 top 5 wide receivers. Waddle takes a hit. Waddle was top 5. Now Waddle can't be top 5. Tyreek Hill is slowly dropping out of the top 5. Vamp says leave a thumbs up. Thank you, Vamp. Appreciate you. I think Waddle will do the same, if not better, than last year. I don't think so, Will. I mean, maybe he could do the same, like, amount of total points, I think. Maybe. Yeah. But, I mean, he's not. I mean, I don't know if he's getting the same receptions. Let's look at Waddle's stat line. Let's see if he can even repeat last year. Maybe he can repeat last year. We were hoping for so much more. But maybe he can repeat last year's numbers. Because that's not that crazy, actually. That's probably a good, accurate statement here. This is Waddle's last year numbers. That probably actually is correct. We want more, but this is probably what we're going to get. Jalen Waddle last year, I don't think he's getting the receptions, though. 104, maybe, because he could catch so many short passes, you know what I mean? Like, he might catch like a dozen or more than the average running back in that, like, 3 or 4 yard, catch, like 3 or 4 yards, boom, 3 or 4 yards, boom. Like, kind of like Edelman used to in the Patriots offense. Like, so maybe he could get to 104 receptions, maybe, but I don't think he will. So even if you gave him like 90, 95, 1,000 to 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, maybe a rushing touchdown, more than 3 rushing yards, I think he could have 50 to 100 rushing yards. So maybe it ends up being the same. But this guy was about to have 115 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 14 or 15 total touchdowns. So now he's looking at maybe a repeat. Maybe a repeat. It's gonna be crazy. Miami sends Waddle to the Packers for 2 firsts. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, bro. Maybe Waddle is on the move. Maybe that is something that could happen, but I doubt it. McDaniel doesn't want to move him. I mean, that would be something that I would love to see, but to get Waddle in a different position. But why would McDaniel want to move Waddle? You know, he's not in the business of trading one elite wide receiver for an up and coming, elite, or trading one up and coming elite wide receiver away once you bring in one. I mean, he wants both weapons. He does. Tua's stock explodes again. I don't know if it explodes, but it definitely goes up. Tua doesn't have the arm strength or the accuracy of Mahomes. That's correct. That's why it's going up for sure, but he's not exploding. Waddle's on his rookie deal. No chance they move him. That's exactly right, Vamp. They're not. They're just not moving Waddle. This is a good thing for Waddle. It's not, Jack. You're welcome, dynasty owner. Welcome, dynasty owner. Jack, how many shares do you have of Waddle? There's no way this is good for Waddle. There's no chance it's good for Waddle. I know you want it to be. I do too. We're in the same boat. We're wishing this is good, but it's not good. I love this signing for my Bills. I'm going to personally send Miami's front office a thank you letter, says Swaggy. Swaggy's rubbing it in. Think fantasy right now, pal. Think fantasy right now. Mahomes' contract not crippling the Chiefs' cap will go up in time, and you guys will make more and more. Mahomes started the trend, and the length of Mahomes' contract definitely helps KC, says Dalton. Money can be moved. Money, this whole cap thing it's fictitious to a certain degree. This wasn't a move to help move Hill's cap number. The cap goes up every year too. This wasn't a big deal. They could have kept Hill. Hill should have been kept. This was not a good move on Kansas City's part. I don't know what kind of disgruntled situation they put Hill in and why, but they shouldn't have moved. And I don't know why Hill wanted out so bad. I think it was he wanted money. He wanted the bag. The Chiefs couldn't necessarily give him what he wanted maybe this very second, but he wanted it right now. And I don't blame him because he was going to get hurt. He wanted a big fat $72 million guaranteed. It does come down to money essentially, but the Chiefs should have figured this out. Look, you can figure out these kind of contracts. You could get Hill on a big guaranteed deal. A lot of this money, when you move money up front, it's the team paying the big dollars. And I venture to say losing Tyreek Hill cost them more than they saved by not extending him in jersey sales and in ticket sales and all that. You know what I mean? I doubt they go without selling out, but there's got to be a ramification to not having Hill on the roster in terms of the direct sales of the organization. Things are gonna go down big time in that regard. This is a big jersey selling dude. This is a guy that sells and sells and sells. Even your advertising dollars will probably slowly dip because when you put up a poster board of Mahomes and only Kelsey instead of Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill, it costs less to advertise with the Chiefs in a month from now. This is a trickle effect. Why they would make this move and not say, hey, let's extend the man. Let's move the money around because it can be done. We've seen it. Aaron Rodgers was signed to a $153 million guaranteed deal when the Packers were still over $30 million over the cap. While $30 million over the cap, they signed Aaron Rodgers to $150 million guaranteed. The money's fake, okay? It's all fictitious. It's not a real cap. The cap is not real. And Hill could have been kept. They could have signed Hill. This is crazy. This is crazy how if you're unhappy, you get out now. That's not the way the NFL used to be. The NFL used to be you could call a team's bluff or you could call a player's bluff and they would eventually fold and come back. Now these players are getting way too much control. And when one player sees another guy say, I want out, and he gets out, like Russell Wilson, no quarterbacks were traded 3 or 4 years ago. It didn't matter. You don't trade Russell Wilson. Seattle was ridiculously dumb to trade Russell Wilson away. They were. It was dumb. They kept Pete Carroll instead of Russell Wilson. They should have fired Pete Carroll the moment things got bad and Russ wanted him gone. You don't get rid of a top 6 quarterback, a franchise quarterback. But this trend is crazy now. Hill wants out. He gets to go. Adams wants gone. They send Adams packing. This is absolute madness. Doug wants to know if he can work for me. No, Doug. I appreciate you, though, Doug. In your own way. NFL is becoming the NBA. The players are getting so much control. That is correct. Man, this is insane. I wish I had better news today, guys. This is not good. For anybody saying this is good for Waddle, it's not. Stop it. It's not. I appreciate you, and I wish that it was good news for Waddle. I wish I could spin it for you, but I can't. I can't even spin it for you. I can't even do the flip the script. Like if I was to let's try and flip the script. Smitty, can you try and be positive about the Jalen Waddle situation? I can't. How could this be good? How could this be good? There's no way. Tua's not throwing the ball enough to allow Waddle to improve from last year. He's just not. Waddle got downgraded by like 2 rounds at least. And maybe, you know what? Swaggy, really good point. Maybe, just maybe, Waddle falls so far in drafts that if he can replicate last year and you can get him a lot later, maybe that's an advantage. But in Dynasty, if you already own the guy, it's absolute a travesty. Top 5 for, let's see here, AFC West winners of this trade. Yeah. I mean, you think about it now, looking at the board here. If we're looking at it here, and you've got the Chargers, the Broncos, and then now the Chiefs fall out of here with the Raiders. Come on! Now the Chiefs and the Raiders are going to be competing to get up into this box here. But the Chargers and Broncos are the teams. The Chargers and Broncos are the top 2 teams in the division now. And it's going to be a battle between these two. It was the Raiders would be maybe the best team to never make the playoffs. That was kind of my thinking. Now the Chiefs are going to battle against the Raiders. Look, the Chiefs struggled last year. The Chiefs struggled last year at times, in spots. And you're like, okay, this isn't looking, Mahomes, what's going on here? Is it crazy to imagine There's no continuity. Is it crazy to imagine the Chiefs struggle to find their voice in 2022? No, not at all. Vamp with the super chat. Yep, don't worry. We got a big pack of dry erase. Oh, you're dropping a super chat for more dry erase. Thank you. They will eventually run out. We got a box here, but Vamp, I'll order another box on your behalf for the super chat. Appreciate you, Vamp. Thank you, pal. Vamp is the dry erase marker supplier of the show. The official sponsor of buying my dry erase markers is Vamp, who I might add was first in the building today. Vampy boy. I don't know what your name is. Braden Bola? God, all one word. I couldn't read what that even said. Second in the building. Joshua is third in the building. RB Okafor. Yeah, sorry I was late today, guys. Smitty's birthday. And I went out and thought, okay, I'm going to take two or 3 hours off, be completely out of pocket. And even though I saw it, even though I heard about it, I couldn't go live at the moment. So I'm like, okay, when I get home, I'll take care of it. So I apologize. Just my luck. The moment I step out, I'm like, okay, so much news has happened. There couldn't possibly be anything that's going to break in the next 2 or 3 hours, after everything that's gone down. So it was kind of crazy when I was out. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I apologize, guys. I was out to breakfast, and let's see here. I got more news from Schefter. Let me put this on screen here, and we will see what is what. More from Shefty. More on the Miami shipping 5 draft picks, including first and a second round pick to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for 6-time Pro Bowler Tyreek Hill. What this report says right here is that nothing really new. The Jets trade offer to the Chiefs for Hill. Yeah, nothing new. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Well, gives us more to talk about for the 7 p.m. show today. But let's go ahead and let's hit the voicemail line one more time, see what else we got, see if you guys got any questions here.
Smitty, I know Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, and I know Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But I think you can make an argument that all 3 other AFC West teams are now the favorite over the Chiefs. What do you think?
Yep, I mean, just like we played it out on the board, the Chargers and Broncos take a step up. These are just more complete offenses as of this moment. Not that the Raiders aren't, but the Raiders got a lot of new pieces on the board. And I just don't know that Carr is on the same level as Herbert and Russell Wilson. But Carr has all the weapons he needs. So this is a case where the Chiefs are losing weapons but have the better quarterback. The Raiders have the lesser quarterback but are adding weapons. They're going to fight it out for this third spot here. But yeah, no, I can get behind that.
Smitty, I know.
Smitty, where are you at? Smitty, get on a live, Smitty. LOL.
That's Tyreek. I know, God. The one time I'm not at the studio when the news breaks. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow, Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. This offseason is crazy.
How's this going to be an outlook for Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins in 2022?
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. Crazy. Tua 20-yard bombs, says Nick. Yeah, Tua's not it, but McDaniel's doing such an amazing job surrounding him with talent. It's going to probably work out. KC does not want Odell. Yeah, Odell's not going to play for half a year, if not by he'll be lucky to be back by double-digit weeks. Thank you, James. Hill is going to run Tua's passes by 20 yards. Yeah, it's going to take Hill and Waddle are going to take his 7-yard dump offs, 70 yards down the field. Think about Debo. What Debo did with Jimmy G. Like Jimmy G, 5-yard pass to Debo. Debo takes it 80 yards. And then everybody goes, Jimmy G scored a touchdown. Well, did Jimmy G really score a touchdown, or did Debo score it and Jimmy G got to go along for the ride? Like, Tua's better than Jimmy G. So this is crazy. Like, the Miami Dolphins are let's I mean, we could break down the Miami Dolphins. What do they look like in division? Let's screenshot the division, put it on screen, and talk about it, because I mean, this is a tough division. Okay, so it's not like it's going to be a walk in the park. I'll put up last year's standings too, but definitely have a shot at winning a wild card spot. Miami could win the division potentially. Like, stranger things have happened, but I don't think they're beating the Buffalo Bills. Although, crazier things have happened. Patriots are going to be tough. 10-7 last year in a learning year for Mac Jones, in a year where Bill Belichick was trying to get everything right and functioning. So the Patriots could be an 11-win team in 2022. The Buffalo Bills, I could argue, will have a better record than last year at 11-6. They could be a 12 or 13 or even a 14-win team. So Miami, I don't know that Miami's gonna have a shot at winning the division. I'd say they have a shot, but are they gonna win it? No. They'll have to grab a wild card spot, and it's a tough division. The Jets might be very much improved, but I don't know that I'll put the Jets in that conversation with those three right there. But that's a really tough division now. Like, we keep talking about the AFC West, which is clearly the number one division, although it just took a hit losing Tyreek Hill. But the AFC West is the top division of football. The NFC West is probably the second toughest, I would say, or close to it. You could argue other divisions, but this is one that you could argue is a sneaky good division. Buffalo, the Patriots, Miami, those are three really good teams. Those could all be 10 or 11 win teams where it's double-digit teams, all of them making the playoffs, 3 of the 4 teams in the conference making the playoffs. Very arguable. I mean, you got the Bengals winning the AFC North. Steelers, Browns with Watson being out maybe 6 to 8 games. I think Watson will be at least out 6 games. The Ravens, so you got the Bengals and Ravens. So you got the Ravens maybe taking a wild card spot. The Dolphins and Patriots taking wild card spots. Let's keep going. Colts are going to fight for a wild card spot, if not win the division. So then the Titans are going to fight for a wild card spot or win the division. Jacksonville, they're still a little bit of a ways away. Houston, no chance. And then you've got the AFC West. Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. How can any... This is going to be so tough, these wild card spots. Insane. I mean, honestly, I think you've got to say that at least 2 of the wild card spots are coming from the AFC West. That's what I would say is the safest if you're a gambling man. I would say if you're a gambling man, you would take potentially... I mean, you could argue this entire division's going to the playoffs. You could argue that all 3 of the wild card spots are going to come from the AFC West. Because right now, the top division, let's put the whole division on the screen here. Let me see if I can even fit this. Okay, so here's the whole entire conference. This is great. This conference is insane. This is insane. How are these teams making the playoffs? Look at this. And let's put an underlined line under a team that's going to make the playoffs. And let's make that red. Okay. Buffalo Bills. Make the playoffs. Bengals win the division, make the playoffs. Colts win the division, make the playoffs. I don't think it'll be the Titans. I think it'll be the Colts. Chargers win the division, make the playoffs. We have 3 more teams. 3 more wild card teams that are going to make the playoffs. Where's my Bengals one? Did I already delete that? Okay, so now let's put the wild card teams in a different color. We'll do blue. So we'll make this blue. Let's just go straight to the AFC West. I'm going to say the Broncos make the playoffs. You've got the Ravens that are going to be in contention. The Browns, depending on the suspension of Watson. The Dolphins, the Patriots. I mean, I think the Chiefs still make the playoffs. I don't think they don't grab a wild card spot. So it comes down to the Raiders, the Titans, the Ravens, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. We might literally be looking at a handful of double-digit win teams not making the playoffs in 2022. That is absolute craziness. So if I had to guess between the Raiders, the Titans, the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Patriots, I guess the Raiders, can all 4 of the AFC West teams make the playoffs? Am I crazy here? Am I crazy here to think that the 3 wild card spots in blue are all going to the AFC West? I mean, who would you leave out? Fam first, yeah, you're a little late to the party. Definitely a rewatch. In general, it's bad for Mahomes. It's great for Kelsey if he can stay healthy, but he's probably at that point where he's going to miss games. And so, will he even be able to benefit? Will he get overworked? Will he start missing 3, 4, 5 games at a season now? Bad for Waddle, great for Tua, bad for Hill. I mean, it helps out Tua. It helps out Kelsey, it helps out Juju. That's it. It's a bad trade. This is crazy. This is how I see the playoffs. Literally, the teams that are not making the playoffs. Let me get an X on screen. This is crazy, man. This is absolutely crazy. New England? No. Dolphins? No. Jets? No. Steelers, no. Browns, no. Because the Watson's probably out for 6 games. You can't make the playoffs in the AFC West, in the AFC conference, missing 6 to 8 games. You'd be hard pressed to make the playoffs, to be a top team, to win a wild card spot if you have Watson healthy. This is the first time I broke it down in detail, and I've got to say, I'm actually looking at this different than I thought I would. Jaguars, this is it. This is my prediction for who makes the playoffs. That means that the Ravens could have a 10-11 win record and not make the playoffs. The Dolphins could have a 10-11 win record, not make the playoffs. The Patriots could have a 10-11 win record and not make the playoffs. The Titans, the Ravens, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. Please tell me how losing Tyreek Hill hurts KC so much but doesn't help Miami. No one said it doesn't help Miami, Dalton. Not one single person here said that it doesn't help Miami. Miami's phenomenal. This is a great move for Miami. But as I'm mapping out right now, can you even make the playoffs? You literally have to beat out the Raiders or the Chiefs in order to make the playoffs. And you've got to hold off the Ravens and the Titans and the Patriots. Like, it's not me. Where have I said at all, Dalton, that this doesn't help the Miami Dolphins as a whole? The Miami Dolphins are going to be unbelievably impressive, but they've got to knock off the Raiders or the Chiefs record-wise, beat them when they face each other. Like, a lot has to go down. No one said that the Dolphins weren't benefiting. Like, McDaniel's looking like a genius, Dalton. Where did I say they wouldn't do well? I appreciate you, Dalton. I'm not mad at you. I'm just defending that is not something that came out of my mouth or really anybody in here that I've read. I haven't read. Maybe I missed a comment somewhere, and if so, I apologize if you're talking to somebody else. But no one's taking anything away from the Dolphins. You're just in a position where, how do the Dolphins make the playoffs, Dalton? How? I'm mapping it out right as you drop that comment. I'm trying to show you how I feel. Do you see the Chiefs moving those picks for a proven wide receiver like DK? Why even make the trade then? So no, I don't. Why make the trade? But should they go get DK? That would be great. I don't know. Maybe DK could be had very cheaply, and then I would do it. Yeah. So, give a couple seconds. I mean, is that what DK goes for? If DK goes for a couple seconds, sign me up right now. Get DK on the Kansas City Chiefs. I agree with that thinking. Miami beat Baltimore bad last year. D-Man said, okay, well, neither one is probably making the playoffs, so it doesn't even matter. The long term, it's awful for the Dolphins. I don't know about that, bro. Why make the move if they don't make the playoffs, though, brother? No offense taken, but just how does it hurt the Chiefs so much? Well, I have the Chiefs making the playoffs. So, obviously, it doesn't hurt them to the degree they're not making the playoffs, in my opinion, Dalton. But it hurts them really, really bad. Because now they're not going to win the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. They're just not. They're not. This is a dumb move by the Kansas City Chiefs. They should have done whatever they could to keep him, because they are a top 4 team in the NFL, top 5 team in the NFL, guaranteed, with Kelsey, Hill, and Mahomes. They just are. Now they're less multi-dimensional. They were very multi-dimensional. Now they're less multi-dimensional. And the dimensions added to the Miami Dolphins are off the hook, but can they make a playoff run? Like, can they actually make grab a playoff wild card spot? I don't know that they can. They could. Like, could the Dolphins beat out? I'm not ruling it out, Dalton. Could they beat out the Raiders or the Chiefs for a wild card spot? Absolutely. Like, they're one of the top teams I would look at that I put an X next to. The Patriots, the Dolphins, the Ravens. The Patriots, Dolphins, Ravens are the 3 teams in the AFC that I see maybe knocking off Kansas City or the Raiders. But straight out of the gate, give me the Raiders, give me the Chiefs. Yeah, and that's a good point. Chiefs get some nice picks. Let's not forget. Like, if they land the right rookie wide receiver, because it is a deep class, that would be like, what if they got Christian Watson and he ends up being the undervalued monster wide receiver of this class? Like, if they land the next JJ, then that is a big difference maker. But that's a big what if. And they're not getting Burks, who I think is probably the best wide receiver so far. Fantasy standpoint, this sucks bad, Smitty. It does. It only helps Tua. It only helps Juju, and it maybe helps Kelsey. But like I said, this is a tough year for Kelsey, in my opinion, because he has been overworked for years. I think it just comes down to salary and dimensions to their offense with Tyreek. Defensive schemes recently have been the same. Yeah, but you're not going to taking Tyreek out of play isn't going to make your offense more dynamic. If people are figuring out what you're doing, and I don't know that I agree with that. I'm just saying, if that's your stance, it's not mine. Then it's not going to get better by taking Tyreek off the field. You would just redo some things and move some guys around and try different things out. You don't just remove your number one asset on the field and then things will get better. Like, addition by subtraction, not going to work in this case. Salary doesn't matter. The salary cap is fictitious in a way. And when Aaron Rodgers signs a $150 million guaranteed deal when they're over $30 million over the cap, it tells you something. You can move money around. You can do upfront money that the team doesn't want to pay, maybe, because the owners end up paying this upfront bonus money, and that's why you can afford to do things if you front load things and put it on the team to make some of this money go away by paying it up front and guarantees. Like, that's how it all works. And the salary cap goes up each year. Tyreek Hill's $72 million guaranteed would have been very different 3 years from now. It'll be $120 guaranteed 3 years from now. Are you really saving by getting rid of him, or are you better off locking him down to a deal that might look old and smaller in 3 years? Because these deals are getting out of control, and guaranteed money is going to change. There are a lot of people that say that the NFL contracts will soon become the NBA contracts, where it's fully guaranteed. You don't sign a deal. The players are taking control here, and they're running with it. And the NFL is letting these players dictate what they want. All the prices are going up. It was like, okay, $80 million contract in the NFL, only 30 of it was guaranteed. Okay, let's get real. It's not an $80 million deal. No worries. Let the player think he got an $80 million contract. Voidable year. You're only getting $27 million guaranteed on your $80 million. What was it, $140 million for Taysom Hill? None of it was guaranteed, and they cut him. So Taysom Hill was on a $140 million contract, I believe. All of it voidable. Didn't mean anything. Now, NFL players are on the same track as NBA. They're going to get guaranteed money. It's all about guaranteed money now. Doesn't matter if you've got an $84 million deal and your name's Christian Kirk. Bottom line is Christian Kirk has $37 million guaranteed 2 years. They have voidable deals on year 3 and year 4. Christian Kirk's not getting $84 million. Christian Kirk is guaranteed $37. His contract is a kind of a paper tiger. It looks bigger than it is. Now we're heading in a direction, and it all starts with Deshaun Watson, $230 million fully guaranteed. Now Hill, $72 million guaranteed. That's where we're headed. NFL players are now going to look at guaranteed money and guaranteed money alone. Miami won't make the playoffs even with Hill. Pistol says you're crazy, Tyler, unless he's calling me crazy. But Pistol, he's not crazy. I just mapped it out. I'm not saying Miami can't take the Raiders or the Chiefs wildcard spots. But you Pistol, you cannot call Tyler crazy by making that statement. Look at the board, bro. There are 3 wildcard spots. The Dolphins, most likely, they could win the division. They could. And that could be where they get it. But if they don't win the division, if the Dolphins better win the division. The Dolphins better make sure they win the division. Let Buffalo suffer some ups and downs, whatever. If the Dolphins don't win the division, they will have a tough time making the playoffs. I will tell you that right now. So I don't think Tyler's crazy at all. Pistol, I wouldn't call you crazy by saying the Dolphins will make the playoffs. Why you got to call Tyler crazy for saying they won't? It could go either way, bro. It could go either way. What are my Packers are going to do now? Says Derek. Just. I appreciate you being here, Derek. After trading Adams to the Raiders, we have no wide receivers. You're going to watch everybody else play football next year, Derek, unfortunately. I'm sorry to tell you. There's no way Aaron Rodgers is returning to a Super Bowl. What do you think of Chase Edmonds for fantasy? I'm avoiding him. Gonzalez, thank you for the super chat. I'd rather grab, I don't know. I'd rather grab Gaskin or Mostert very, very late. I'm not paying top dollar for Chase Edmonds. Where do I have Mahomes ranked now? QB 3 or 4. QB 3 or 4. He's still Mahomes, but I had Herbert 1. I had Josh Allen 2. My quarterback rankings don't change. Everybody else's are going to change, but I had Herbert 1. Mahomes was 3. Maybe Burrow goes ahead of him. Burrow getting offensive line help. Maybe Burrow goes to 3 and Mahomes goes to 4. But he's in my top 4. He's got Kelsey. He's got Juju. He's got lots of weapons. He's still Patrick Mahomes. He's still going to score touchdowns. But Herbert was my 1 before this happened. Josh Allen was my 2 before this happened. Nothing's changing with your boy Smitty because I've already been on top of it. Mahomes 5-7, I don't think that far, bro. Thoughts on Adams' fantasy value? It takes a dip. Is he outside the top 6? No, probably 6. But is he 2 or 3 anymore? No, not in my opinion. Edmonds blows, says Nick. He can't stay healthy, so I don't know if he blows, but he can't stay healthy. I think this Miami Dolphins team's going to be electric. You know, maybe they do win the division. Maybe Buffalo struggles somehow for a string of games, and this Miami Dolphins team just comes out on a tear, and they win the division much like last year. The Titans were 12-5 and had they didn't feel like they were the top team in the division. Like, the division was weak, right? Granted, but they were the top team in the conference. Like, they didn't feel like the number one team in the conference. The Titans just had they somehow did it. Okay, yeah, they're a good team, but they were 12-5. They were the number one team in the entire NFC. NFC. They were the number one AFC. They were number one team in the entire AFC. Number one seed, the Titans, had a first round bye, but they didn't feel crafty. They felt good, but they didn't feel like they were beating the Bills. They were better than the Bills, or better than the Bengals, or better than the Chiefs, but they were the top team in football in the AFC. They sat in the bye seat in round 1, didn't have to play in round 1. That could be the Dolphins. Like, they have the potential to be the Titans of last year, where they win the division. Maybe they got the best record in the entire AFC. Like, the Dolphins could do that. I'm not giving the Dolphins their flowers. I'm just saying it's a big difference if the Dolphins don't win the division and beat the Bills out straight up, and the Patriots, then the Dolphins will have a tough time making the playoffs in 2022. I will see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern. Please subscribe if you're new. Please punch the thumbs up and smash it. And where's my subscribe?
Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and wipe your feet at the door.
I will see you all later. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That means I will see you all in, I don't know, T-minus, what is this? 5 hours, a little over 5 hours from now, we will be live on the fantasyfootballshow.com, aka youtube.com/the fantasyfootballshow. Leave your questions on screen on the way out. And please subscribe. Please punch the thumbs up. Sorry I was a couple hours late on this one. It won't happen again. Smitty will never leave the studio or home again. Ever. Ever. I will never leave again. DoorDash. I'll run in my backyard if I've got to. Make 17 laps around the backyard instead of going and running on a mile run. Okay, maybe not. Thanks for subscribing, pal. I see you.